Hello everybody, it's Dio from Firm But Fair Gaming, bringing you another video.
Hello everyone, welcome to another Diablo 3 video here for Season 28. Today we're taking a look at the Legacy of Dreams Barbarian. So this is the Hoda Barbarian, so Hammer of the Ancients. So for those that are unfamiliar with Legacy of Dreams builds, we'll just look at the gem. And so the way it works is while you have no set bonuses equipped, every legendary item you have equipped increases your damage by X amount and reduces our damage taken by 2%. And then this bonus is doubled for ancient items. So with the gem at max, we have 375% increased damage. So that means the legendary item will increase, each legendary item will increase our damage by 375%. But if they're ancient, that becomes 750%. And then our damage reduction or damage taken bonus that we get is then instead of 2%, 4% for each ancient item, which gives us some survivability. But it also makes it very important to have as many ancients as possible with this build.
Enjoying all the videos and content we produce, don't forget to click on that subscribe button, click on that like button, and don't be afraid to share. Don't forget to click on the notification button, customize it however you want, but that way you're notified whenever we publish another video.
Alright, let's take a look at the gear. Just going to move the video out. So this is a 105 just to show you what some of the gameplay looks like. I did not have a ton of ancient items, so my damage is a little bit weak. We'll call that out right away, so that's why it's only a 105. Also, 0 augment on the guild. On the gear. Sheesh. Okay, so let's take a look at the items. So for our helm, we're going with Oryx Crown. So the reason we're doing this is because it doubles the effect of any socketed gem. So this is a terrible one as I only have an 80% unique affix instead of 100. So basically we're missing some cooldown, which we need to get both Call of the Ancients and Wrath of the Berserker off cooldown much faster. For our shoulders, we were using Fury of the Ancients, so Call of the Ancients gains the effect of Ancient's Fury, and also it attacks 100% faster. We're using the Cinder Coat because it has fire damage on it for the elemental damage, and we do fire damage in this build. Stone Gauntlets for survivability. Getting hit increases our armor but slows us down, but we should be invulnerable, so we're all good there. Witching Hour, we have both attack speed and crit on the belt, so more damage. The Blackthorn's Jousting Mail, the pants, because we can get fire damage on it, which again, fire build, that's what we want. Using Mortix Brace, so Wrath Berserker gains the effect of every rune. And the boots kind of doesn't matter so much anymore as we get immunity and passability through our altar, but so basically whatever the best pair of boots that you can find. And then for our weapons, we're going with Remorseless, so while both Wrath of Berserker and Call of the Ancients are active, Hammer of Ancients deals up to 800% more damage. And then we went with Echoing Fury, so when we slay enemies, we go into Frenzy, which is going to give us attack speed. For our jewelry, went with Squirt's Necklace, so when not taking damage, we deal up to 100% more damage. This is going to be handy with shield procs. Obsidian Ring of the Zodiac, so when we hit with a resource spending attack, we're going to reduce the cooldown on one of our abilities, so that'll help us get Call of the Ancients and Wrath of the Berserker off CD much quicker. And then, of course, we are using Band of Might, which after we charge, stomp, or leap, we're going to take up to 80% less damage for more survivability. Okay, for our legendary gems, we are going with the Bane of the Stricken. So each attack we make against the target is going to increase our damage against them, and it stacks. And at 25, rank 25, we get 25% increased damage against bosses and Rift Guardians. And then, of course, we are using the Legacy of Dreams gem that I covered at the beginning, so we know that. So while no sub bonuses are equipped, we get X% more damage and reduced damage taken by 2% per item. And then that effect is doubled for Ancient. And then we're going into not Band of Might. Oh man, into our Bane of the Trap, so increased damage against enemies under the effects of control and parrying effects by X%. And then at rank 25, we gain an aura that reduces the movement speed of enemies within 15 yards by 30%, thus proccing the Band of Might buff. For the cube, utilizing the Gavel Judgment. So this is a two-handed mighty weapon, just for those that are trying to craft it. So the damage of Hammer of the Ancients is increased by 800%, and it returns 25 Fury if it hits 3 or fewer enemies. Using Bracers of the First Men, so for our armor, so Hammer of the Ancients attacks 50% faster and deals 500% increased damage. And then we're using Convention of Elements, so really you can choose whatever you want of your best jewelry here between the rings. So whether this is an Obsidian or a Band of Might or a Convention of Elements, you get to pick whichever one is your worst ring and put it in the cube and wear the other ones. So Convention of Elements is basically we gain 200% increase damage through the various elements. You can see it cycling here. So as we go through those, they'll cycle up. So it means that during fire, we're going to get that 200% extra bonus for all of our fire damage. For our skills, let me just move the video down to the bottom here. So, okay, so we are using Hammer of the Ancients with Smash. So that's fire damage. So we're just going to call forth a big hammer, smash in front of us, deal lots of damage. Then we have Wrath of the Berserker with Insanity, but with our bracers, it gains the effect of every rune. This turns us into a big damage dealing machine and also gives us some move speed and dodge chance. We're utilizing Whirlwind here, so with Dust Devils, so we're going to cost Fury, but as we're spinning on top of things, we're going to also get the Fury back, so we're probably never going to run out of Fury. And basically it just gives us some extra damage. You could also go into the Wind Shear if you really felt that your Fury was suffering, but generally that doesn't happen. Ground Stop with Wrenching Smash to proc our Band of Might, and it also kind of puts everything into a nice pile for us to smash on top of. Then we have Battle Rage with Swords Plowshares, so it just gives us more damage and it lasts for 2 minutes as well as some life on hit. And then of course we need Call the Ancients together as one, so it summons our Bash brothers and they fight along us and we deal more damage and also we take less damage. And based on the items we're wearing, we need both Wrath of the Berserker and Call the Ancients up at the same time to deal maximum amount of damage. And then for our passives, move the video again, so we have Boon of Belkathos, so reduce the cooldown of both Call the Ancients and Wrath of the Berserker by 30 seconds. Ruthless to deal more damage against enemies below 30%. And then we have Berserker's Rage, so we deal more damage when we're at max Fury. And then Nerves of Steel for a second life because we are a little bit squishy. If you find that you're not having survivability issues, you can easily go into Rampage or Brawler for more damage output as well. For a rotation, I always say potion is at your own discretion, but when we go in, as soon as we're near enemies, so if you have to run at the start of a rift, don't pop these right away, but as you get close to enemies, you want to use these, Wrath of Berserker and Call the Ancient, so we can start dealing damage as well as be survivable. Stomp to proc our Band of Might, and then Whirlwind on top of things to start reducing the cooldown onto the Wrath of Berserker and Call the Ancients, and we want to get Battle Shout out as well, Battle Rage, and then we are going to do Hammer the Ancients as well for our damage, and most importantly we want to make sure that we're doing that on the fire cycle to get our maximum damage. So if you want, you can kind of spin and accumulate stricken on things and then do our damage output doing fire, and then once we get a nice stricken stack built and things start taking damage, then you can just sit there and spam your Hammer of the Ancients. At least that's the strategy I go with. So this brings us to the end of the video. If you have any questions or comments, please let me know below. I'll be happy to answer those. And as always, we appreciate likes, shares, and subscribe. So please click those buttons. And of course, you can come find me on Twitch. I stream pretty much daily. Come hang out. Always love talking about Diablo and grouping up. So hit me up there. So until next time, I hope you're enjoying Diablo 3 Season 28. And we'll see you in the next video.